In the middle of nowhere, fear never sleeps.
It's all right, Courage. Nothing's out there.
But something has come back.
Bah! Just shadows playing tricks again.
Eustace, that wasn't a shadow.
A nightmare reborn. It knows you, Courage.
To save his family, he must face the unknown once more.
Run, Courage!
Fear may tremble, but courage endures. The nightmare continues.
In the middle of nowhere, silence hides something darker than fear itself. Slowly, the outline of an old, crooked farmhouse emerges, standing alone in an endless desert. The camera glides closer, every step heavy with the sound of crunching dirt. Wind howls through broken fences, rattling them like bones. The house is lifeless, yet it breathes with a strange presence. A rocking chair creaks on the front porch. A figure sits, her shape soft and fragile, rocking gently as if waiting for someone. The chair moves back and forth, but her face is never revealed. Just her silhouette, cast against the faint glow of the stormy sky. Inside, dim light flickers from a dusty window, but it feels wrong, like the house is alive, watching. A dog whimpers. In the doorway, Courage crouches low, trembling. His small body shakes, his eyes wide with terror. His paws scrape the wooden floor as he inches forward. The camera never shows him fully, only his trembling shadow stretching across the walls. Every sound is exaggerated, the creak of floorboards, the distant crash of thunder, the hollow echo of wind blowing through cracks in the house. Suddenly, a loud slam. A door inside the house shuts on its own. Courage leaps back, his whimper turning into a muffled yelp. The rocking chair stops moving. The silence is heavier now, like something is holding its breath. The shadow of a tall, thin figure passes briefly across the window-long arms, hunched shoulders, moving unnaturally slow. The camera cuts away before the figure can be revealed. The narrator's voice finally breaks the silence, deep, haunting, almost whispering. This is nowhere, a place where the quiet never means peace, and the dark is never empty. Courage takes a hesitant step forward, his tiny claws scratching the floor. The camera pans down a long hallway inside the farmhouse, narrow, endless, swallowed in shadow. At the far end, a single light bulb swings, buzzing faintly. The walls seem to twist, stretch, almost breathe. Courage stares into the hallway, frozen. The sound of whispering voices begins, layered, distorted. Impossible to understand. The farmhouse creaks like it's alive, and the storm outside grows louder. Courage lets out a shaky breath, then turns his head. In the reflection of a cracked mirror on the wall, his shadow isn't alone. Another shape looms behind him, taller, twisted, watching. The scene cuts to black. In the middle of nowhere lives a dog with the heart of courage. Asterisk, the black screen fades into a sudden bang. A door swings open with violent force, slamming into the wall. The camera pans quickly down a crooked hallway, lights flickering like they're struggling to stay alive. The wallpaper peels, curling like dried skin, and strange marks are carved into the wall's, claw marks, symbols, scratches that look almost human, but not quite. Courage stumbles into the hallway, his shadow stretched unnaturally long. His breath is shaky, fast. Each step makes the floor groan beneath him. The whispers grow louder, circling him like voices speaking from inside the walls. They overlap, hissing phrases you can't understand. His ears twitch, his body trembles, but he keeps walking because something is pulling him forward, a sudden buzz. The light bulb overhead bursts, showering sparks into the darkness. The screen flickers into quick images, a hand crawling across the floor without a body, a cracked doll's head turning slowly, its mouth opening wider than it should, and a long shadow that doesn't match anything in the room. Each image flashes only for a second, leaving the viewer unsure if it was real or imagined. Muriel's faint voice echoes from the end of the hallway. "Courage! Help me." The sound is sweet, soft, but warped, like it's being played backward through an old record. Courage turns toward the sound, ears straight up. He whimpers, then forces himself to run. His paws slam against the wooden boards, the camera following low and shaky, as if running with him. As he reaches the end of the hallway, the walls begin to stretch. They pulse, bending closer, squeezing in. Hands press out of the wallpaper, reaching for him, their fingers sharp and twisted. Courage freezes, yelps, and then bolts through a doorway. The frame shakes violently as the door slams shut behind him. The screen cuts to a dimly lit kitchen. The faucet drips, echoing like a heartbeat. On the table sits Muriel's teacup, still warm, steam curling into the air. But there's no one in the chair. The rocking chair in the corner moves on its own. Squeaking with every push, Courage's reflection shimmers in the kitchen window. But behind him, the reflection shows something else, an elongated figure with glowing, hollow eyes. He spins around. Nothing is there. The whispers stop. Only silence remains. Then, out of nowhere, a distorted laugh cuts through the air, unnatural, sharp, and cruel. Courage lets out a scream, his whole body shaking, and the screen cuts to static. In nowhere, the shadows are never empty. They wait. The static fades into a dim, storm-filled sky. Lightning rips across the horizon, lighting up the barren desert for just a second. The farmhouse stands in the middle of it all, groaning like it could collapse at any moment. Courage bursts through the front door, panting, his shadow stretched against the dirt. His body shakes, but his eyes burn with fear and determination. He pauses, looking back at the house. Something inside is pulling Muriel away. And he knows he has to go back. The narrator's voice, heavy and echoing, breaks in. He fears everything. Yet still, he must fight for the only family he has. The camera follows Courage as he stumbles into the storm. Rain pelts the ground, but it never touches him. Droplets bend unnaturally, sliding away as if the storm itself is alive and watching. He runs across the empty field, mud splashing beneath his paws, until he stops dead in his tracks. In the distance, a tall, thin figure waits. Its body is rigid, almost insect-like, head tilting from side to side with sharp, cracking sounds. Lightning flashes, and for a split second its face is revealed, not fully. Only the edge of a wide, twisted grin. Courage yelps, but doesn't run. His paws dig into the mud as he growls, low and shaky, like a small spark of bravery in a sea of terror. The figure steps closer. With every movement, the world distorts. The wind cuts out. The rain freezes midder, and the ground twists under Courage's paws. His reflection in a puddle looks different, bigger eyes, sharper teeth, almost monstrous. He flinches, but then pushes forward. Quick flashes cut through the scene. Eustace, faceless, raising the Ooga Booga mask toward the screen. Katz's silhouette appearing in a doorway, claws dragging against the wall. Freaky Fred's shadow brushing scissors together, the sound scraping like knives on glass. Each flash hits like a jolt, returning to Courage standing small but unyielding. His chest heaves, his teeth grit, his growl grows louder. The narrator whispers again, "Even a coward has a heart, and his is braver than he knows." Courage charges forward, his silhouette vanishing into the storm. The screen cuts to black, followed by the sound of his muffled whimper transforming into a defiant bark. When darkness comes, Courage is all that remains. The storm grows violent, tearing across the desert like it wants to swallow the farmhouse whole. The screen is almost drowned in black clouds and flashes of white lightning. In the distance, Courage runs, his tiny figure dwarfed by the chaos around him. His paws pound the mud, his breaths echo like they are being dragged through a tunnel. Then everything goes silent. The rain freezes midair, the thunder cuts, and the wind halts. The world holds its breath, a single creak. The farmhouse door opens on its own. Muriel's shadow appears inside, hands reaching out as if calling Courage home. But her voice doesn't sound right. It is soft at first, then it bends, warps, twisting into a guttural growl. The silhouette of Muriel stretches unnaturally long across the floor, growing taller, bending backwards until it breaks into something inhuman. Courage whimpers, frozen in terror. Suddenly, the ground beneath him cracks wide open. Darkness spills upward like smoke, swallowing the air. The desert twists, bending into an endless void. From the cracks, shapes crawl out, monsters reimagined from old memories. Cats with sharp, insect legs clicking on the dirt, Freaky Fred's scissors glinting as his laugh rattles through the storm. And shadowy creatures with faces hidden, moving in jerks and snaps. Like broken puppets. Courage trembles, but his body straightens. He lets out a shaky growl. The camera zooms close to his trembling eyes, reflecting the storm of horrors ahead. The narrator's voice returns, deep and commanding. He may be afraid, but fear itself should fear him. The screen explodes into a rapid-fire montage, Courage leaping at a monstrous figure, teeth bared. The farmhouse being swallowed by shadow. Muriel screaming, her silhouette pulled into the void. The Ooga Booga mask slamming toward the camera. Courage howling as lightning strikes behind him. The chaos rises with distorted screams, growls, and a pounding heartbeat that grows louder and louder until it feels like it will break the screen. The images flash faster, claws, shadows, screams, Courage standing small but defiant in every shot. Finally, silence. The screen turns black. A single sound, Courage's whimper. Then it twists into a bark, sharp, defiant. Echoing into the darkness, white text bleeds onto the screen. One word at a time. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Terrifying live action 2025. The last frame holds. Then, just before it fades completely, a distorted whisper hisses, "You're not alone in nowhere." The screen cuts to black.